Hello and welcome back to the Katowice Royale. We are here in the Sportec Arena. I've made loads of new friends during the break. Say hi, guys. Hey, pals. Hi. We're all best friends. This is great. The community is coming together. This is phenomenal. I actually sat here next to Marcelo. We've been talking all through the break. So, Marcelo, you've traveled quite far to be here. Where did your journey begin this morning?
So I traveled from Krakow today morning. I woke up really early today to be here and to cheer for my boyfriend, Kaku. He's a streamer.
Where is he? Can you give us a wave? Is he listening? Can you give us a wave wherever you are? Do you know where he sat? Is he over there somewhere? Let's just wave and hope he sees us. Hi. Good luck to you. That's amazing. So obviously, I can see. I love your T-shirt. Who's this guy? Does this guy have a name?
It's actually Mr. Llama.
Very creative.
Yep.
Very creative.
And he actually is a star of the streams of Kaku streams. Actually.
I mean, being here at the IEM Expo is it's an amazing place to be. There are so many people here who are excited about the next few days. What are you looking forward to the most? Is it being here with the community? Is it seeing the best compete? What are you most excited about?
I think both. I think cheering for the best players is actually pretty exciting, meeting them and sitting here with the best crowd and great cosplayers and great casters. Meet you.
Well, with your boyfriend being a streamer as well, you obviously see him play a lot of Fortnite. You a big fan of the game? Do you get a chance to play much?
Actually, I work full-time every day, but after work, I play a little.
Okay, so you're a late-night Fortnite player. I love that. That's great. Well, listen, have an amazing time. Thank you for chatting to us. Guys, thank you so much for giving us your time. Big waves. Thanks, guys. 4 of them have lost interest. They're doing something else. But we're all excited. We can't wait to get this show on the road. For now, though, let's go back to the guys on the desk. It's coming. We cannot wait. It's coming.
Dude, what a great community feel there is here in the building at the moment. I mean, every single person that Adam's talking to is so excited to get these games underway and get into it. And of course, we are as well. Don't worry about that. We'll get into the games as soon as we possibly can. But there's such a great community feel, and that's one thing that Fortnite really has encapsulated, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, by far. Like, from day one, as soon as it was launched, it was, no toxicity whatsoever. Lots of positivity, lots of pushing out the community, pushing out the streamers, and keeping it, really chill and really happy, It's so super nice.
The thing is about Fortnite, it's one of the few games out there that's ever transcended being a game. You look at professional sports, like traditional sports, you see these players in football or soccer, depending on where in the world you're from, and they're doing these dances. When they score, you see this around the world constantly in baseball as well, in American football. Everyone loves this game, and it's really cool to see it transcend itself and become something bigger.
Okay, well, one thing I want to talk to you a little bit about, just while we are still waiting for this game to get underway, and of course we'll get into it as soon as we possibly can. I want to break some things down for some of the newer players that we're watching. Some players who are looking at competitive Fortnite, they play it maybe more on a casual level, and they're thinking, I want to get into this. I want to take this a little bit more seriously. Break down some of the drops in Season 7 for us. Where are the popular areas? Where do you drop? Where do you drop?
See, my drop, it depends on, the day of the
He's
week.
keeping straps to himself. Look at this guy. You can tell, can't you?
We switch it up depending on, on circumstances. Of course, as you were saying, lots of things change in the game very, very quickly. There's a new patch pretty much every week, and something new pops up, something with great loot, something with not so great loot. So you've got to always mix it up and find a perfect spot for yourself and where you feel comfortable in your play style, because everyone plays very differently. So if you like close quarter combat and you're really confident in that, go to Tilted. If you can feel like you can fight off 15 other people in one spot, go for it. But if you're a little bit more like me, like to chillax at the start, maybe,
I thought you were going about the old age, you can't aim as well. I thought I was going a different direction.
It's scary enough for him to jump out the bus. Like when he's landed, he's like,
don't
happy that I made it.
My knees.
Don't make me 1v1 you, Jason. I'll make you look silly.
You could. I'm not denying
spicy
that.
up here.
Yeah.
I like it.
He's always digging into me. I don't know why he's always bullying me. I was trying to help out people.
It's because he's 6'6". Did you know that?
He just brings that up everywhere.
It's actually funny because Mark has
it.
to get special jackets made for his massive biceps he's got going on. Not quite posture biceps, unfortunately, for you. But there's still technically a lot to learn in this game. I feel like not only at the basic levels of learning like where chests are, right? Of like where the loot you want to go for, which has the most populated chests, where people traditionally like to go, where you can actually go if you want to play more of a relaxed style, more of a slower start. But you also need to know about the terrain.
Yep.
And the terrain is almost ever changing. Right now we have fissures popping up in the game at the moment. And with every hill that gets placed, with every circle that changes positions, you have to know how to fight in every one of those spots. So there's always something to learn when you're playing.
Oh, for sure. That's a great point, actually, when you said the terrain. Basically, there are certain spots that have more mats than others. So you may land in a certain area and there's tons of wood, right? You land at Wailing Woods, but no brick. You need to venture out, find brick somewhere else. So you got to work that into your rotations. You got to think, well, you know, if I'm going to get max wood here, where am I going to get max brick, max metal, etc. So you always got to be thinking that. And especially when the circle's moving, sometimes you have to mix up your plans dramatically if you're not leaving a certain spot with the right materials.
And that's actually what I love about the whole siphon system, is that you do get those materials per elimination. You know, back in the day, that makes me sound really old, right? But back, you know, like in June of last year when I was doing the Optic Arena event in Texas, you had to think about every fight. You had to think, okay, how many materials do I have? How many do they have? If I'm going to get this elimination, I have to do it quick because I need their materials. I need that to fight, and I don't want them to actually use it all in the fight, in the bout, and then realize, okay, I picked up 10 wood. Great, I just spent my entire inventory in materials, and now I've got nothing to fight after that. So I love that whole situation. It changes how you mentally go into these fights. Yeah. And it's really kind of a hard thing to determine, like, do I fight or do I run?
It's one of the best changes, just generally across the board. Like, you know, a lot of players are like, let's get the siphon system in there, you know, get the mats going out when you eliminate somebody. And it's so good. Yeah. So good. I love that, you know, Epic listened to that input and just went, yeah, man, we're going to give you what you want. And it just plays so much more fluid. Every win that you get, every elimination that you get is a small victory.
And you don't get punished for being aggressive either, because you can, if you get it cleanly, get the extra 50 HP, extra 50 shield, the materials as well on top of that. So you're not punished for being super aggressive and realizing, okay, I just got that fight. Yeah, I got the elimination, great. But now I have 10 HP, nothing to heal with, and I'm pretty much just going to lose.
Well, let's find out a little bit more. We've obviously picked your brains a little bit, gentlemen. Let's find out a little bit more about a couple of the players that we're not so familiar about once again. We've got a little interview with Morovka and Mikey. Let's see what they've got for us.
Zauważyłem swój jakby taki poziom profesjonalny wtedy, kiedy zakwalifikowałem się na turniej solo, który odbył się tam w lipcu i zająłem w nim top 10, to było bodajże chyba 7. miejsce. Wtedy pomyślałem sobie, że naprawdę coś może być z tego.
Nie mamy planu, ale codziennie staramy się co innego robić. Na przykład trenujemy AIMA w takiej aplikacji, co się nazywa Kovac FPS I'm Trainer. Oglądamy VODy lepszych graczy, jak grają, jakie mają taktyki, może żeby się czegoś nauczyć.
Według mnie najważniejszym aspektem jest budowanie, ponieważ gra stricte opiera się na budowaniu. Podczas late game'u no, bez budowania nie jest w stanie przetrwać się do końca.
Moją ulubioną AR-ką jest moim zdaniem złoty Scar. Potem jest złota pompa oczywiście, za 220 się one-shoty sprzedaje. Potem SMG, bo Dig już nerfa dostał, RPG i jakieś poty, żeby się uleczyć.
Nasz styl opisałbym na agresywny. Gramy tak zwanego animala i czujemy się bardzo pewnie w early game'ie. Co byśmy mogli poprawić? Myślę, że komunikacja na pewno, bo gramy ze sobą 2 miesiące i ta komunikacja pod koniec, podczas dużych emocji się gubi.
Ja zacząłem grać w Fortnite'a właściwie już w premierę, bo zobaczyłem to jak była taki pierwszy dzień, jak wyszedł Fortnite, zobaczyłem na Twitchu nową grę, która miała tam dosyć dużo oglądających. Ściągnąłem, no i od razu się właściwie wciągnąłem w tę grę.
Do Fortnite'a namówił mnie kolega, z którym grałem wcześniej w taką grę jak Rust. Namawiał mnie i na początku byłem przeciwny tej grze, bo wydawała mi się, że jest beznadziejna, ale w końcu namówił mnie po jakimś czasie i zacząłem grać i od tamtej pory gram.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen, finding out a little bit more about some of the players that we're going to have competing across the weekend. And one thing that really stood out for me there, that I always love to see from the top players, is watching other players, looking up those VODs and seeing what they do that you're not doing.
Oh, for sure. It's the best way to learn. Gaming has completely changed over the years for that one reason. Streamers, VODing it up, looking at people's VODs. Like, for me, finding people's replays back in the day took forever. But now you can actually like find somebody's little niches, improve upon it, add it to your own. So good.
I didn't realize you had that in you. That was a beautiful night.
I know. Sometimes I bring it out, you know, on special occasions.
Hey, obviously today it's a special occasion. Jason looks perplexed.
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't know you could actually do that, even though I've known you for 4 or 5 years now. You learn something every day.
Hidden talents, my friends.
And just like in Fortnite, you learn something every day. Nailed the transition on that one. So you look at, having this library of information, whether it's online on websites, whether it's watching your favorite streamer, and it's not necessarily, you're not necessarily able to learn how to do things if you don't know about them, if you don't know they exist, right? So having people like Speedy Gonzalez here will be on later on today, showing you these techniques you can do to improve your game. It makes you have to do that kind of style and play that and learn that to play at a top level. So it really raises the ceiling very high. It makes things super competitive.
Yes, it does.
Well,
for me, though, 2 months, they said, by the way. They were playing for 2 months together. That's not a long time for duos.
That's really not a long time, is it? And to have the opportunity to perform on this level, it isn't a long time. But sometimes, when you're playing on that sort of instinct and things like that, that can be an advantage when you're not overthinking certain situations and you are kind of playing on the fly a little bit. It can be one of those things you've got to look out for as a player when you jump into a game and it's kind of like that the expected becomes the unexpected, should I say?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And the thing is, it's kind of like too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing, right? There's too much conversation happening. There's too much past experience sometimes thinking about, remember that game we played, a month and a half ago? Let's do that strategy. It's too much. Playing on how you feel can make you the better player in situations you shouldn't win.
And one question I want to ask you before we get into our first game that hopefully we'll be in very, very soon. We're obviously stood at the top of Tomato Temple right now. I want to pick through your memory banks of something. I mean, I'm going to leave this to you.
Okay.
Something good that happened or something bad. But I'm going to hold that for 1 minute because, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're finally about to get into our first round of the day. Katowice, make a little bit of noise for these guys. Gentlemen, it's over to you.
All right, going to be starting things off here on Makalele off the bat. Now, Zachabis, we did talk a little bit earlier on about where we expect to see people dropping and where you prefer to drop. You said you like these more relaxed areas. For me, I'm curious. When it comes into the Polish edition of this tournament, I don't feel like the players fully know where everyone else likes to land. So things can really be hectic when it comes to a match starting and where you're going.
A lot of people, when they're in the air, they're going to be scouting around. They're going to eye up the surroundings and make sure they land near no one. They're playing it very passively. As you can see, we can see Jakos and Philip in the background. The drop is completely messed up. They obviously landed in the broken house here and darted off, not wanting to fight. They have minimal loot, and they're just, they're out of there. That's not a great start for them. They can't really do anything with that, and they're just giving up Pleasant Park.
But again, it's about realizing when can you fight and when do you need to run.
Exactly.
And the further you get into the game, once you break through into that top 25, you do start to accumulate points. And those points are going to matter when we get to the later stages of how this whole tournament's going to go. Famin, in the meantime, going to be able to pick up a nice little pistol. The scope pistol going to be coming through, and of course the shield potion as well. But his HP, I'm really wondering what happened in the beginning.
Yeah,
Did he
very,
fall?
very interesting. No, maybe he just had a bit of a skiff, got involved with some other people and was forced out of it. Was his teammate eliminated?
Teammate was alive. Teammate was alive.
So that's interesting, though. He's so spread out across there. And here we're in Snobby Shore. There's a lot of people down here.
Yeah, we got 3 teams already lined up since it come down to who can get those initial eliminations. Poverty, in the meantime, one of the players we've really talked about over the course of this pre-show. We're expecting good things out of him and Zeke.
Oh, yeah. Everybody has been fearing these two. As you put the survey out there to get some more information on these players.
Yeah.
Like Zeke and Poverty, they came out on top. Like most feared players, aggressive. But they're playing it pretty passive on that ramp. And obviously, look, we got Hycel and Dida trying to dip out of this fight. They're heading over towards Tilted Towers, not wanting to engage. Obviously, maybe they recognize the skins. Maybe they fear the early elimination here.
I just think, in general, a lot of players are going to be fearing any initial engagements. We talked about this quite a bit, right? In the first couple of matches, I was personally expecting people to play very passive, not get too aggressive, get comfortable, get a good game under your belt, right? Get a good result. And then from there, look for it being a little bit more crazy later on. And Kezi going to be actually pushing off the bat here, might have some action himself.
Yeah, Kezi's actually going to just push into... Oh, just manages to get caught off by the side. Kez actually taking the high ground very nicely here. And Renard trying to actually give some ground support there. Ground warrior, but pretty low with only 25 HP.
Oh, there's the clingers, though, as we talked about before, and how they can just decimate any sort of building. A stink bomb comes through as well, and now Adam's down to 6 HP. He's going to get knocked off of this, and Reynard's looking to actually finish off this elimination, get the first one on the belt for him. Kezi, though, with not much HP, is trying to survive, trying to help out his teammate, trying to look for elimination himself, and that will be the first duo being knocked out here.
Yeah, Kezi, Adam, very, very unlucky there. You know, it was very interesting because they didn't know that they were there. They were just trying to actually get some more loot.
In the block.
Yeah.
We have not touched on this. We should reiterate what it is actually and how important it is when it comes to playing in these matches.
Basically, these are community-made areas on the block, and they change from each week. So players that like to be stable and like to know where they're dropping, this isn't a good spot for you.
Yeah, definitely agree with this one. We do have, I think, about 2 teams over here as well. You can see Monk towards the left-hand side of your screen, Will Q over towards the right side in his little 1x1, and Precious and Advice as well. So they know they're going to have some opponents here. And even off towards the other hand side, we can see there's a third team. So the potential for a third party definitely can come through. But everyone really focusing here on getting these maps built up. That was a shot.
Monk taking a little bit of damage there. He's going to try and retaliate with a heavy sniper. Doesn't happen though, just slightly misses there, but it was very, very close there for a second. Picks up some minis, gonna bang those ones out.
I think they're going to have to move, though. That zone has made its presence be known.
Yep.
Pretty much tilted almost in the exact center of actually this zone we do have. So a lot of teams are going to have to run, especially over from this northeastern side over towards the block. So a lot of pressure on these players. And again, to reiterate, we talked about this so many times. You're playing here in a tournament setting. You have an audience. You have people at home watching. Are you going to sink or are you going to swim? And we're going to find out over the course of today.
Yeah, this is kind of weird period of the game. You know, there's going to be a lot of rotations, a lot of people not wanting to take a fight, and it's really awkward when you get into a fight because you just want to get out straight away. And of course, actually, we have a little bit of a skirmish kicking off here.
Bottle rockets trying to eliminate any sort of building.
They're great distractions, those bottle rockets. They're completely, actually, kind of underrated. Like the noise that they cover up, you know, you can't hear footsteps, and it can be really kind of annoying.
But it's really loud, right?
Yeah, it is really loud, but like the damage-wise, you're not really going to take it out and use it as a special slot. You're not going to carry bottle rockets, you know, in the late game. But
that would be interesting, though, if we get to the final circles and we have those go off.
But, you know, you might have it because, you know, people don't always get the loot, right? They don't get the ideal setup. So having something that can distract and, you know, you can pass a 1x1 with no footsteps being heard makes it actually a viable tactic.
I can see Taboo and Hashtag as well. Hashtag is actually a player that was pointed out quite a bit as well in that survey. And we talked about the Bush before here, Zacchaeus. We're going to be seeing it. We should reiterate one more time the changes that have come to it as it was unvaulted. It can absorb a damage or a shot for you, which is huge, especially when it comes to the reaction time it takes to put the buildings down to prevent the damage coming through. In the meantime, I have to cut myself off because we're seeing a very aggressive fight come.
Yep, building up, taking up the high ground here. Katabana takes the high ground, his teammate. Spamming in some of those clingers there. Putting a lot of pressure here onto Hacky. He's going to just try and turtle in, try and focus out. And he needs to get out of that space right now. These clingers are doing a lot of work, and he's loaded up with some great weapons too.
You can see the pressure now coming the way here of this duo of Zhu and Hacky. They're trying to escape the situation. Again, trying to drag this one as long as they possibly can. We see a third party coming in now as well as Icefire and Relutai. They're looking for some action themselves, looking for some eliminations. And again, to reiterate for you guys at home, eliminations 100% matter. If it's 1 or if it's 20, you get 5 points per each.
Shaz is going in deep here. He's actually pushing in very aggressively, trying to pickaxe away this wall. Damage has been exchanged. More building. Great, actually, protection there. Great editing, but the third party, does that come in? I think it has.
Getting shot up from behind, down to 45 HP. There's a lot of teams here. There's actually a lot of teams in the vicinity of Dusty Divot as well as we're towards the northern side. Somehow, Pitamon's been able to escape with 46 HP, but he has people in hot pursuit. I think they can smell that he's low on health, especially realizing the damage was white. And look at just the amount of teams we have coming this way. This is going to be insane.
Kataban and Shaz actually on the back foot now after those skirmishes. They try to push in aggressively into the build, getting a little bit of a sniper coming in from the hillside there. So has to be extra careful. They really want to fight and win against this team. But, you know, Hacky and Do have been doing very, very well, holding them off in this low ground situation.
Thing is, they're going to have to run towards the west, right? Because the circle, again, is closed in towards Loot Lake and Tilted Tower. So they're going to have to move eventually. Luckily for them, they still have time on the board. So they're not really in a rush just yet. The problem is now we have the down coming through. And there's the cleanup as well. Hacky going to be down on top of that. So I believe it's just a 1-for-1 here. And both players now looking for the finish. You can see replacing that wall, getting the edit in as well as another floor, going to be blocking him off, trying to go for the spam through. And you can see Zhu trying to hold on. He has 40 HP left. But does he have the time to get this pickup?
That's a risky move.
I like this, by the way. So he got aggressive, right? Kataban, he got aggressive shooting at them. And then from that, he backed away, got the pickup, and now with two of them together, going to try to push back in. I think Hacky's still down. He just barely gets picked back up as the campfire has been pushed in. And look at this happening now as they both drop in, and unfortunately, it just doesn't work out that well. Zhu and Hacky able to survive somehow.
Defense stronger than offense there. They were turtled up in the divot for such a long time, and wow. Do and Hacky taking it there. I'm very surprised, especially since the res came off quicker for the other team. They were able to get that res, get that revive, and push it out.
That decision making too to realize, okay, they're going for the pickup. I have to do it as well. If they get an advantage on me, whether it's 5 seconds, if it's even like 4 seconds, I know I'm not going to be able to win this fight.
Even 1 second, Jason. Yeah. Even 1 second, and it's really surprising. I mean, the aggressors, unfortunately, are falling flat there, but hopefully they'll think about that in the next game when they're back in the lobby.
We do have Storm about to close in as well here. Killin and Vin's, again, still trying to build up some materials. And the Stormwing, well, better enjoy seeing it today because it's going to be disappearing as it's been shown on Reddit. It's going to be taken out and actually vaulted.
Yeah, very interesting. It's going to really mix up some play styles. A lot of players used to like just hanging up in the air for a long period of time and not engage in any fight, or maybe even just come in, swoop like a vulture.
So we have Poverty and Zeke. We touched on them earlier on. They've both been able to pick up Stormwings, and they're both more than happy to keep flying around. What's your take, though, on both having one each versus sticking together on one plane?
This is actually a great technique with the 2 planes, to be fair, because if one gets shot out, you can parachute out, and your teammate can pick you up mid-air, and you can just keep doing it again.
Yep.
Recycle those planes, baby.
Well, Tilted Towers is where there's going to be a lot of action happening. I can count already 5 teams here. If you're Aiden and Nick Merckx, you're looking at this like, all right, this is juicy.
Robert, you have.
I can't wait to have something like this happen next week. But this is going to be crazy from both teams. Look at this, 90 players still alive as we're making our way through into our 3rd circle. I don't know how the next storm will come, but if it still focuses on Tilted yet again, this is going to be insane. This is going to be crazy for all these teams.
I have never seen a site like this. I've never seen everybody just piling in. Like, I think this is the high-level mentality coming in. Everybody's going, nobody's going to be in Tilted now.
Right? Yeah. No one's going to be there. Why would they be there?
No one would be still in Tilted at this point. I know it is in the center of the circle, but it's such a risky location to go in, even if there's just one team. But I can't even count. There's so many blips on the minimap.
Yeah. Over here towards Loot Lake as well, you see Precious and Advice going to be sitting over towards the higher position between Mario Gela and Hivix. But again, the thing is, they're still going to be in the storm, or in the safety of the circle for now. It's the next storm that comes through that's going to determine how things are going to work out for them.
Yeah, playing it nice and slow, putting down some nice pyramids here.
Just look how long in we are now, and there's only been 10 eliminations, or 8 eliminations. That's ridiculous.
Oh my God. I didn't even clock onto that. My
thing is, we've been doing some practice casts and rehearsals over some games with the admins playing, but they're not going to be anywhere near in comparison to what we're going to see here. Look at Tilted yet again. The amount of teams here is ridiculous, Zacubus. I want to see the final circle around Tilted. That would be the best way to start off here.
This is going to really kick off, Jason, man. Oh my God! Like I've experienced like higher level lobbies and like lots of people in these games.
Okay, so let's look at this then. You're in Tilted. You're in this situation, Zacubus. What's your goal right now? Luckily, well, unluckily, the circle has moved. But in that situation, what was your goal? What did you want to do?
If I was in Tilted right now, basically. Get into a building, make sure, I've already got mats. If I don't, farm out the mats, exactly like these guys are doing. They're replacing every wall. They want to make everything their own. They want to be comfortable in their own bases. So, farm the free mats, build up your own base, have your little edit battles, your turtle battles that you can have in there. That'll be nice and dandy. Maybe even get a bit of high ground, Jason?
Oh. And speaking of battles, we're almost certainly going to have it too, because everyone inside of Tilt is going to have to transition away over towards that northwestern side. As we do see the circles come in as well, what's your thoughts on the terrain we do have? Because we have a couple of mountain ranges, 3 of them to be exact, going to be within the circle at the moment.
Yeah, those mountain ranges in those late game circles could be a problem for a lot of teams. Personally, I love climbing up into a mountain. I
Sorry,
actually feel
Hacky
very
just got
comfortable.
lasered from afar here. You can see the windows. Both players going to be shooting out from this one. I think Hacky's going to fall from this. And you can see Zhu already immediately backing away, realizing, okay, he's not going to survive this. I have to keep ourselves alive to hopefully get into that top 25 to get some guaranteed points on the board.
Taboo and Hashtag, they were instigating the damage there a little bit on that corner. And there's going to be a lot of choke point coming in from that corner. I think Hashtag and Taboo are going to be primary target. And also, you know, we've got Noisy and Lothar up there too. Everything that's coming in from Tilted is going to get pushed into this corner of death. Oh.
Thing is, you've talked about off air about Lothar Noisy. They always like to play for the late game, and they always seem to get there. We're seeing them do it yet again. Snowy going to be taking some shots off of Maroka and Mikey, who have been able to build themselves up a nice little 1-by-1 each player. We can see Sajamon going to be pushing up the hill as well. Teak as well towards the other side, to the right-hand side of the screen, who's just looking for the opportunity to push in. And the amount of people you can see on this mini-map, 89 left.
People are going to be they're going to be falling behind a little bit here. The rotations, I can't fathom how many people have actually got out of Tilted so far. Like, look how
The
many.
majority of them, I would actually say.
Yeah.
How many people are still left alive? I think it's going to come down to this next circle where things are going to go down. A lot of players here, again, realizing this is not a public game, a casual game. This is a competitive, private match, and you have to try to survive as long as possible. Everyone is just kind of sitting and spinning around, trying to see where everyone is, trying to get any sort of information, and hopefully a shot. You see Brisu, nice little edit there, trying to go for the shot over towards Vince and QLN, but no opportunity just now.
Only 3 players have fallen in that time. Only 3. Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this circle.
This circle has just transitioned and bamboozled the majority of the players as well. They're going to have to transition towards the southwestern side.
The people at Loot Lake are going to have a very tough time traveling through this.
Well, now this is okay. When you're in this stage, right, and you're trying to rotate across the map, what do you look for in an inventory to have to make that happen to be successful?
Launch pads are a must. You know, they're so good. I mean, we've got the redeploy. It's great. It's perfect for these kind of situations because you might have to do several jumps. You've got to be very quick when you ramp up, jump out. But problem is with the redeploy, it's slow. You can get lasered.
The explosion coming through. Ike and Pestro both with 3 eliminations in total. So that's going to be a guaranteed 15 points for themselves. I'm getting a little bit worried here for a lot of these players, especially as we transition into, you know, the smaller and smaller circles. Things are going to get hectic here.
They're going to get real hectic real fast, and the player count's not dropping fast, that's for sure.
And we do have 3 shots on the RPG and a pump, so technically that's all you really need to do to win these matches. A heavy sniper shot going to come through, not really connect. The RPGs, you can hear them rattling off as well. But everyone seems to be so hesitant to force the fight. Mikey eating a little bit of damage from Mokars.
Yeah, they're just... The thing is here, we got some spam coming in here from the grenade launcher. Got to be careful that the stickies and clingers are coming in. Mikey's pressured pretty badly here, and they're going to get pressured from behind too.
There's so many people focusing on the bottom half of your screen. It is so hard to move. You can see, I think it was AM and Maroka trying to push across to actually get some sort of position to get back towards the circle, but they're getting so many shots sent in their direction. 82 players left alive. And we're into the 4th circle.
Mikey's actually getting a little bit lucky there because everybody had to rotate above them and started building for them. So saved a little bit of that match. Nobody wanted to fight. Everybody's coming in from this side. It's going to get incredibly hectic, Jason. Mokar's Richard doing some big damage with this AR. 135 rounds left in it.
Just
I'm
look at the
surprised.
weapons they have. It's like, it's nothing great. They don't have anything of green quality, anything of epic or legendary quality, and they're still here fighting it out.
Hey man, I would be happy with a grey art in that situation.
I'd be happy to be alive in this situation, to be fair. I probably would have been eliminated a long time ago, but...
They kind of played it safe, I feel like they dipped back into their 1-by-1, which is very, very, you know, very common to see. You only want to take a couple of shots and dive back in. Vilko going down there, and he's going to get eliminated as well.
Oh, we can see, though, the Stormwing, Jable, J-Chu still
These
able
guys,
to, and Zeke and Poverty as well, still in the Storming. So they've avoided having to use mats to move anywhere. They've avoided having to use any ammo, any consumables in terms of healing items. And they're playing this one out, and no one's even shooting in their direction. Everyone's so focused on the ground here that they've had a free push here into these zones.
Everybody's just trying to find an angle with these edits as well. There is so much building going on here. Trying to find any angle. The Stink's coming in there as well. But this is a lot of pressure for Fixer to deal with. He's having to build his way out of this situation. But is he not? Is he going to make it out of this, Jason? I'm not too sure.
But he doesn't have a lot of builds left. Down to 12, so the pressure's coming in. He's trying to obviously move in towards the next zone, trying to take a lot of these walls yet again. He's going to need some help from Zaki to help survive this. They have 0 eliminations between the two. And Matazord, another player actually, who has talked about him and Veraxer as being someone you have to watch out for from the Polish players when we asked him. He's already down. Veraxer's still going to be alive. You can see everyone jumping into the circle. Everyone's transitioning towards the southern side. Look at that mini-map and how many arrows are still there.
Oh, it's a beautiful sight, Jason. It's a beautiful sight of chaos. I love it. And I can't believe how many people are still alive finding those rotations.
So when you're in this situation as Activist, you're fighting for ultimate high ground, aren't you? You're fighting for that high ground position?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
On this circle, like, yes, you want high ground, Jason, but you want to save your mats until we get to the moving circles. That's the important thing. As soon as the circles get a little bit smaller, this is when the high ground really, really counts. And obviously, there's some natural high ground there that we're seeing in this wide shot. So capitalizing on that as much as possible is super keen.
We can see everyone's going to be fighting for those. We still have a storming or two still in the sky at the moment. No one's been able to look up into that position because the amount of people here on the ground. Pivix is already very low on HP, and it seems like he has nothing to really heal with, but the pressure being applied by King is stopping him from having any sort of chance of healing.
Okay, so the next circle is going to be up north. This is great for the majority of the player base, I believe. So a lot of people already up north on this next rotation.
Did he get shot? Did Poverty get shot out?
He did. He's gone. Got caught on the rotation by the looks of it.
This is going to be tough. You can see the storm now going to be moving in a few seconds. And a lot of these players are going to have to make that move, make that decision. This is where things really get hectic, really get crazy.
Everybody that's been saving up their movement items right now are going to be using them in this instance. We're hearing the first rifts coming in. Lots of rifts, lots of jump pads coming in. They need to get onto that north side of the circle, and when they land, they will start building up, Jason. This is the point. Hopefully the people that have saved their mats, and 150 here coming in from SAC, like, great.
56 players are left alive here in this final zone. We're seeing everyone start to push and transition across as well. You can see Bunk towards the right-hand side trying to get in. I don't think he even has a teammate left alive. I think he's by himself just trying to get into that top 25 position to get some points on the board. Everyone is taking a lot of damage. You can still see people floating as well as they're making their way down here into these buildings. Everyone's throwing out their mats. They're trying to transition into this next circle, get somewhere safe. And you see Caxmon get himself a nice elimination. I think he got himself a double.
Got it onto Philip. Lovely little pump shot there coming out. And great little building coming in as well. Tunneling himself in. And we have Zeke.
By himself. He lost Poverty already. He has ultimate high ground. I would imagine if you're in that situation, you're just trying to stay alive. There's actually a player behind him. He's trying to actually outbuild him. He does take that high ground position away from him, Zacchaeus, and he gets dropped down as well.
He's actually just decided to go to the bottom ground there. He actually edited himself down to play a little bit more safe. He got outmaneuvered. Lothar going down too by the storm.
How's Dialer still left alive? He has no HP. No one's even shooting. And look at the amount of people we have floating down from the rift. They are just trying to get into these positions. We're into the 38 players left, and the circle's coming in.
If there's nobody established on this high ground, this could have been such easy eliminations. With all of that, you just spray and you can't miss. And good P90 work coming out there.
Teak just drops him though with the pump, able to eliminate him. I saw Zeke there on the activity feed, able to get one himself. So eliminations, this is your time to build up these major points. 5 points per elimination, plus some points for placement. 65 for first place. If you get 10 eliminations, you're looking at 100, if I could do my math really quickly, and 15 points. Nailed it.
Good. I didn't even work that out, mate. I need to get my calculator.
You see Fallman on the very, very low ground as well. I think he's almost by himself there. Speezy has fallen as well. Jasic on solo HP on the bottom side of this one as well. But the high ground's still being fought for. Sake is still there on the right-hand side trying to fight up against Jachu. And Shikuni is actually going to be under him as well.
Shikuni, yeah. Actually in a great position at the very back of the storm. He's going to take his time, play it real slow. Try not to push out too much. You don't want to go and put out your build too far ahead because obviously you can run into threats either side of you when you do that.
And the thing is, if the storm moves the other direction, you have to go back through everything you've built up, and the players are just dwindling away. Jasic, he has, what, 3 HP left. He's going to eventually be finished off here. Or maybe if he can get elimination, build up that 50 HP by himself. Arka's on the ultimate low ground. If we're going to say ultimate high ground, we have to give him some credit for playing the ultimate low side. And I wonder if he has any healing abilities left.
Yeah, he's got to climb the hill too. Look at this circle. It's deadly for him. He needs to find a way that he can get there and rotate safely. But will he be able to? Jackos getting into a fight. Is his teammate Phillips still up?
No, he's gone. Phillips has actually been falling. Nice little stink bomb to be thrown in as well as he edits his way through the storm. Is going to be moving yet again. You can see Nisik actually getting kind of caught here towards the bottom hand. So I'm trying to see if there's any duels left. You do still have Richard and Mokar still left alive. Number 37's Jarkos as well is trying to fight out. I think he took down, or at least got relatively close to taking someone down here on right above him. But the storm, we're getting to the final moments here, Zacubus. Everyone is fighting for these placements. They're fighting for these eliminations.
Interesting. Jackos is actually not the highest member up there. There's still people above.
Sake.
And I think there's people above them too. Holy moly. This is getting intense. This is going to really come down to the wire, Jason. This is going to be absolutely mind-boggling how this finishes up.
Traps being thrown, everything being thrown down here. You have to be so careful. We still have that duo left alive here, using the traps to their advantage as well, hoping to catch out someone. Do have a mini here for a Nasik, but the mini's not going to be enough. We're going to see the eliminations now come through. The storm has finished off here. Everyone's getting caught in it. Everyone is taking out damage. Nasik's going to fall to the low-hand side. Hashtag, I think he gets elimination off. Without it, Hashtag, I think, has been able to pull this one off. He's still alive. He's done it.
Oh my God. Hashtag and Taboo coming out.
7 limbs. 7 limbs and first place.
How did they do that?
They're 100 points on the board for these two players. Hashtag had no health remaining, and yet he got the elimination, got the 50 health on the board, and he kept himself and his teammates' hopes alive.
Such clean rotations coming in from that mess of a last circle. I mean, hats off to those guys, like finding that right opportunity and keeping up to the circle as much as possible, because obviously it was moving on quick.
Unbelievable start to the day, gentlemen. What a start we've just had there. Have you ever seen so many people left alive in those final zones?
Not often. Not often.
I mean, I don't think I've seen a game like that have 90 players still, like on the 4th circle. Like, you know, there's a lot more early eliminations coming out on the previous rule sets that we've seen. But this was a lot more passive than I was expecting, I'll be honest, boys.
I'm amazed that many people were inside Tilted and almost no one got eliminated. And to boot, they transition off of Tilted and still made it safely. That's ridiculous.
Oh, it's like, what's really, really interesting is that all of these guys practice on customs, right? They've been, for the last couple of weeks, been playing customs, and they had a rule: don't fight in, like, you know, the first 3 circles. No fighting when you're rotating, because they want to practice the late game. Now, a lot of people disagree with this. You know, you should, you know, everybody's fair game when you're on those rotations. But this game just proved them all right. Like, don't bother fighting. Just keep rotating, keep getting in the circle. You know, play it cool, and you might actually walk away with a nice Vic Roy.
Well, my question now is, looking at that, I was kind of expecting a slower start in the whole tournament today, get people comfortable, you know, just getting towards that later stages of the match. Are we going to see another match like that? Or are people going to be more aggressive early on now? Because we saw so many people towards the later end have 0 eliminations because no one wants to get aggressive.
I think you have to remember as well that as the day goes on, those eliminations are going to become more and more viable for people who are trying to make up ground. So I think you are going to see a more aggressive play style come out of certain people who are maybe trying to chase things a bit. But I wanted to ask you a little bit. Do you think there was some slightly nervous play for some players there at the start of that one, not trying to get involved in those battles?
110%. I think pretty much 90% of that player base was a little bit nervous. A lot of people dipping out of Pleasant Park, you know, dipping out of their favorite locations where they're landing because, you know, they don't want to get eliminated so early. What's so surprising is that even with players with no loot, that they were actually managing to rotate and get out of these fights, making sure that they're doing some great material work, making sure they're holding on to them as long as possible and not wasting too much and using just the right amount.
And I think the perfect example of that question, the answer to it, is the first 2-3 minutes of the game that we saw. People were more inclined to run away from a fight, which is normal if you feel like you can't win. But we saw almost everyone doing that, almost everyone disengaging from each other, just so we can get some weapons, get some materials, and focus on later stages.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the games develop, as we say, as we move through the rounds as the day does go on. I'm expecting, you know, as I said previously, we're going to see a few more players going for maybe some early eliminations in the early game. But to see that many people coming towards that end zone, I think at one point we had 85 players left alive. I think in the 5th zone we had 70 players left, and I was sitting next to Baller and Martin Creek behind, and they were like, We've never seen. What is going on? Like, there are so many people alive here. Like, it was a shock to them.
I just, that's the power of EU, let's be honest. We like to play it slow, lads. We really do. We like to be methodical in our play, make sure we're doing everything calculated to make sure that you get to that last bit of the game. But there was just so much chaos. There were so many people going down and getting, eliminated in those points. It was hard to keep up with the action. Which one team can we focus on?
I'll tell you one team we can focus on. It is the guys who picked up the victory royale at the end. It was Taboo and Hashtag, and they're down on the floor now with Adam.
Thank you very much, fellas. I'm joined now by Hashtag and Taboo. Guys, what an incredible first match that was. First and foremost, how are you guys feeling after that incredible ending?
I feel amazing.
I mean, tell us about the city that you guys built as well. I've never seen so many players in the same, I think it was the fifth circle, there were still 70 players left. Have you had games like that before?
No, it was actually very incredible. I have never seen that many people in the last circles. It was really amazing.
And when you see 40 people kind of in the sky, what's the game plan when you think the circle is this small? What do we do next?
Just kill as many as you can.
Just take out as many as you can. I mean, you guys had 7 eliminations. You took the victory as well. If my maths is correct, 100 points through to the next round. In this position, the first win, how are you feeling now? Could it have gone any better for you guys?
Yeah, we'll just continue doing the same thing as before. Yeah.
And in terms of being here at Katowice Royale, how is it having the audience watch you, and does it give you a bit of wind in your sails? Does it make you feel good having all these people here watching you play as well?
Yeah, it's very incredible to see that many people who likes you. I mean.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations. Hashtag and Taboo. Amazing first start to proceedings. Bring on round 2. Well done, guys. So much more coming your way. Game 2 is right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We're taking a quick break, but we're right back after this.